Okay. We're going to continue on with our Class Dojo series on growth mindset. So remember, growth mindset is understanding that your brain always has the power to grow, has the power to become better, to learn more, okay? So we've been watching along with Mojo, who has been in math class and decided that he was done. He felt like he was not smart enough and he was just going to quit. Then he realized that wasn't the case, so he tried to enter a robotics competition, and he thought, this is going to be it. I'm going to be awesome. But he kept making mistakes. And when he made mistakes, he threw his robot away. And then his friend Katie came and brought him to a very interesting place and said that she had a secret for him. We're going to find out what that secret is this week, okay? What is the secret when we consistently are making mistakes but want to remain on task and growing? So let's take a look at this together. And as always, there will be 3 discussion questions at the end for you to have a conversation in your breakout rooms. So be prepared to have that conversation.
Chapter 3. Katie discovers the incredible power of yet. Our story begins with Katie, a friendly monster who loved being the smartest one in class. One day, when something unsettling happened. It was Katie's favorite time of the day, science class. She was always the best at science. But today, something was different. Everyone was having a great time working on a fun project. But Katie just didn't get it. She started to ask for help. But then she had a frightening thought. If she asked for help, everyone would see she really wasn't so smart after all. She decided to keep quiet and pretend everything was okay. A little while later, Katie was sitting at lunch, feeling glum, when Mojo stopped by. "Katie, you're a genius," said Mojo. What?" said Katie. "I was working on this project today," said Mojo, "and I got stuck. Normally I would just give up and start throwing paper airplanes. But then I remembered what you said about how your brain is like a muscle. And I thought, hey, it's not like I can't do this. I just can't do it yet. So I turn to Bruce and I say, hey, Bruce, I don't get this yet. And he's all like, no problemo, Mojo. I'll help you figure it out. So we worked on it together. And now we have the sweetest volcano you've ever seen. That's great, Mojo, said Katie. But weren't you embarrassed to ask for help? No way! Why would I be embarrassed when I could be learning something new? Well, Katie couldn't believe it. She'd been teaching Mojo all about the brain. But maybe it was time she learned a lesson from him. What do you think? Can Katie learn something from Mojo? Now that's an interesting question indeed.
All right. So it looks like Katie was not the only one that was having some struggles, but Mojo was able to come along and remind her of what he had taught her, or what she had taught him. So there's a question for you to discuss. What should you do if you are stuck on a project, math problem, or worksheet question? What should you do? So in the video, Mojo gave an example of throwing paper airplanes. He said, normally I'd be throwing paper airplanes, but you helped me out. So he didn't want to throw those paper airplanes because he felt like he had a better strategy. So the question is, what should you do if you are stuck on a problem, on a project, or a worksheet, an assignment? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up breakout rooms, and I will copy that question into the chat for you. Remember, when you're in a breakout room, go ahead and click unmute. You don't need to remain on mute in a breakout room. It's just like turning and talking at your table, okay? So you're expected to have that conversation about what should you do when you are stuck. And go. Some of your thoughts were, what should you do when you are feeling stuck? What should you do? Let's hear from Alicia. What should you do when you're feeling stuck on something, Alicia?
Try harder.
Okay, so you can give it another effort and keep going. Perseverance. Excellent. What should you do when you're feeling stuck? Kimberly, what are your thoughts?
Tell someone to help you if you can't figure it out.
Nice. So when you've kind of exhausted your own brain, you can go to someone else and say, hey, give me your ideas. Awesome. Aiden L., what are your thoughts?
If you're stuck, you could try again.
Keep trying. You're agreeing with Lisa on that perseverance. Awesome. All right, there is a second question that you are getting ready to discuss. That second question can be seen here. Think of a time that you were afraid to ask for help. Why did you feel afraid? So I can share an example of this one. A time that I was afraid to ask for help was my very first year of teaching. It was my first time ever being a teacher. And I felt afraid because I felt like if I asked a question, other people would think, why did we hire her? She doesn't know that. That's crazy. And I thought that they would kind of judge me. But I found out that that was not true at all. So many other teachers were so willing to help me and even said, I remember when I felt that way. So they already felt that way because they had been first year teachers too. So that's my example. And that's why I felt afraid. I'm going to send you into your breakout rooms for you to have that conversation about telling a time that you were afraid to ask for help and why were you afraid. Okay, go ahead. But I am curious about when you have felt afraid before. So when was a time that you were afraid to ask for help? Brayden, let's hear from you. When's a time that you were afraid to ask for help? Brayden, you'll have to hit that unmute button. When's a time that you were afraid to ask for help?
I actually never got afraid to answer a question, like to tell a teacher, like I have a question. Never actually got nervous.
Okay. Have you ever been nervous to ask a friend for help?
I think once in first grade.
And what made you nervous?
Cause like there was like people around me. I don't want like, cause like I was like doing a math paper until like I didn't know this question to ask my friend, and like I was nervous because people were all kids were all around me, and then I feel nervous because like I just don't want to feel like they will like think that I'm not good at math.
Okay, yeah. So you were afraid that a question might make it seem like you weren't good at something. Yeah, okay. Thank you for sharing and being honest. I appreciate that. Marissa, what about you, sis? When's a time that you were afraid to ask for help?
Whenever it was my first day of school.
And what made you feel afraid?
Because I didn't know the other kids.
Okay, so maybe feeling a little bit shy, like I don't know if I can trust them yet, like that. Good, awesome. All right, thank you for sharing. We have one more question that we are going to address today, and this is our last one for your breakout rooms, and it is, why is the word yet so powerful? Think of something you don't know how to do yet and discuss it with your neighbor. So the power of yet. In this video that we watched, Mojo explained to Katie that she didn't know how to do the science project yet, but that she could learn it. So that yet is helpful. So here's an example of something that I didn't know how to do yet. When I was told that I was going to be the virtual teacher, I thought, I don't even know how to Zoom yet. But I learned, right? So I didn't say, no, I don't know how to Zoom. I can't do it. I said, I don't know how to Zoom yet, which meant I knew I could learn. I knew that I could get to that place, okay? So think about something that you don't know how to do yet. I don't know how to play guitar yet, but I really am practicing and trying, okay? So what's something that you don't know how to do yet, and share that with your breakout room, okay? All right, here you go. All right, sorry about that breakout room complication. So When we are talking about the power of yet, that's a word that I want us to remember as we move forward throughout this year. There will be plenty of things that we don't know how to do yet, right? But we will grow, we will continue to get better, and we will complete that practice, all right? It's important to practice things that we don't know how to do yet, so that one day we can say we know how to do them, all right?